Fall in once again. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good? Salute to each and every one of you that's tuning in and falling into that live chat. WCS supporters, you know what it is. The topic of the day. You see it on the thumbnail. Let me put back up. Let me return my thumbnail so you all can see. You know, it's all about Deontay Wilder's next fight, what it's going to be. And also, you know, the underlying question is who's next for Terence Crawford? You know what I'm saying? We've heard a lot of stuff in the media about the potential of who he may face next, but we just want to know, hey, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to be the one? Is it going to be the $40 million man? Is Manny Pacquiao really worth $40 million? You know what I mean? But first off, I want to touch on my man Deontay Wilder. You know, 42-1, 41 knockouts. The biggest question is this man been out the sport for quite some time. He's been out for a year now. And just like my title reads, next for Deontay Wilder's return. And that's the huge question because everybody's been talking about this man since he lost his first fight, you know, to Tyson Fury last year. I mean, a lot of people have been wanting to hear what he has to say about that particular bout. You've heard what he had to say. Now, you know, he's coming back out slowly but surely and speaking a little bit more in the media. Shout out to Major Key Boxing in the building. Salute to you. He's speaking a bit more about it to the media, but he's not going in grave detail as to, you know, the glove situation, egg weight, the water being tainted. He's leaving out, you know, the energy for that, probably because he's still, you know, in court with Tyson Fury, and he has some personal things. He has to, not personal, but he has some business things he needs to take care of, and he don't want people to be misconstruing his words in the media. And Tyson Fury, you know, up there complaining to the judge, talking about, oh, Deontay Wilder said this about me again. My feelings are hurt. I'm going back into depression. I'm about to snort a whole bucket. You know what I'm saying? He don't want that to happen. So he was on IG Live with Marcus Watson. Shout out to Marcus Watson, Marcus and Brandon. You know, shout out to Sam Watson. He did a live stream yesterday on IG. And, you know, he was talking a little bit about boxing in general. And it was good to hear, you know, him talking about boxing. And my clip that I put up was, you know, him, if he had the opportunity to step in there with some boxers of any era, any weight class, who would it be? You know, he mentioned Joe Louis' name. You know what I'm saying? Evander Holyfield, Ernie Shavers. And you know, those some solid names. You know, Ernie Shavers is considered one of the hardest punchers of our boxing history. You know what I'm saying? He's in the boxing annals as one of the hardest punchers. But also he faced obstacles in his career. Real talk. But at this point in time, the stage, man, is set for his return. Why? Because I feel like a lot of people got their wish with Deontay Wilder. They was looking forward to him losing. He finally lost. Then they really wasn't satisfied. Why? Because, you know, everything else that surrounded, you know, the controversy in that loss, right? And people's like saying he's making excuses. He's not really owning up to it. He has owned up to it. If you listen to what he said before, he said people are concerned more about losing, but it's all about how you return. It's all about how you rebound after you take that first loss. And I remember so many people, you know, so many voices was echoing, right? Deontay haven't said anything for months. Is that demonstrating that he's depressed? He's mentally broken? Does that mean he needs to be put in a straitjacket and left in an institution in a white padded room? Does that mean, no, 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 no. When it came to this, they made it direct. He's done. He's out of boxing for one loss. Deontay Wilder's out of boxing. He's no longer. You know what I'm saying? He can't compete. He's done. Kano Local Sports in the building. Salute to you. Major Key said, nice job, Mark. What up? What up, Major Key? What's good? What's good? HLD in the building. Salute. The Brotherhood. What's good? He said, Wilder legend regardless. I agree, man. I totally agree with that. When Wilder was quiet, it was a problem. When he started talking again, it was a problem. Hey, man, two posts ain't never made sense. You know what I'm saying? Two posts never made so much sense. You know what I'm saying? When he was quiet, people wanted him to talk. When he talked, they wanted to be quiet. I'm like, the man, the only way he can win is in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Two posts that makes 150% total sense. When he wasn't saying anything for several months after the fight, he's depressed and mentally broken. But then when he finally speaks, he even spoke to PBC. They had like a small podcast, and they was trying to they was trying to ask leading questions. They was trying to pull it out of him, and he just gave them a vague interview. But then he came out on 78 Sports TV, and he provided a more in-depth interview. You know what I'm saying? So people were mad. Not only that, the fact that he came out and spoke, that he spoke to 78 Sports. And I'm like, you motherfuckers was asking him to speak. He came out and he fucking spoke. Now that he's been out the sport for a year, I'm really just want him to get back in the ring. If it's going to be Andy Ruiz, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, all those names make sense to me. In reality, all those names that's up there, to exclude Andy Ruiz, is basically the top three heavyweights right now. You know what I'm saying? Andy Ruiz, in my opinion, is still a valuable opponent when it comes to his boxing skills. Old boy can box. But what I didn't like about Andy Ruiz, I put him in the same category as Charles Martin. Real talk. L-Dub in the building. Salute to you. I put him in the same position as Charles Martin. You know why? Because I just felt he could have did more to represent not only his country, but he could have did more to win that second fight with Joshua. He didn't want it. This man went on a spending spree and he was just enjoying life. He came in there deconditioned, unprepared. And I'm saying to myself, this nigga ain't coming in here to win. This motherfucker coming in here to play around. Just like jumping on a damn carousel. This motherfucker went in there and went in circles and shit, as they call it in boxing, move around. He went in there and moved around. And Joshua got his titles back. It was distasteful, man, because, you went up here and did what a lot of people thought that couldn't be done. I always thought he could be beat. But a lot of people were thinking Joshua, he was just the ultimate guy. And Andy Ruiz went in there and smashed him. So you turn back around in a short period of time with an ample training camp, and Anthony Ruiz coming there out of shape and just gives the title away. Tyson Fury. If I'm going to name them in order, I put Tyson Fury in the middle for a reason, because I don't think he's going to be the number one pick. I'm not sure if that fight is going to happen off the rip for Deontay Wilder. Why do I say that? It's because Tyson Fury has made it perfectly clear that he doesn't want to step in there with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to see him. He's trying to make it seem like his feelings are so fucking hurt. Elder, what's good with you? Kano said folks should appreciate any interview regardless of who interviews them. Let me see what. Okay, yeah. I agree. I was just going through the see if you responded to anybody in the chat. The interview will, the Wilder situation is that we know 2021 he's going to be back. but I don't think it's going to be about be with Tyson Fury. He's going to be in the ring challenging Tyson Fury in the trilogy. Is really unfortunate that we don't see trilogies too much this day and time, especially in big fights right here. You know, you're looking at Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, and we can't even get one fucking fight from them guys. You know what I'm saying? But if I look at Deontay Wilder, this man, he went the distance with Romain Stavern, and he gave him a rematch because that was the only man to go the distance with him at that point. You know, he gave Luis Ortiz, who was undefeated, a rematch. You know, understand he had, you know, similar disabilities, his daughter within his family, allow him to make a living and earn a nice check. But still, Luis Ortiz was a tough opposition. You know, he hurt Deontay Wilder in the first fight. And then in the second fight, a lot of people say that Deontay was losing the entire fight until he landed that right hand. I say different. I say he was just waiting for his moment. The window opened and the breeze came in. Lights out. He blew motherfucking right through Luis Ortiz. Done. Over. I was there looking through the camera lens. I was like, God damn. And then look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, to a lot of people, was ranked as the #1 heavyweight and all this, that, and the other. He went to a draw with Deontay Wilder, you know, per the paperwork, and then turned back around with no fear in his heart, say, I'm going to give you a motherfucking rematch. Tyson Fury didn't want that shit. He went on and fought freaking Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin. And then he want to go and play around in the WWE and jump off the high rope and knock out Braun Strowman, who's a big motherfucker, right? Knock out Braun Strowman with a fake ass right hand. Then after he did all that, you know, he want to link up with Sugar Hill for the master plan. Came back and he was able to get the job done in a freaking room of controversy. But to be honest, that shit ain't going nowhere. This talk about what went down that night, February 22nd, 2020, it ain't ever going anywhere. And the people that freaking advocate for Fury, who's a bona fide cheater, you're going to have to continue to debate the situation. Regardless of what Deontay Wilder said, he was the one that fought. You have to understand that shit. Right now, I would love to hear in 2021 that Deontay Wilder was stepping there with Anthony Joshua. It will be great if he doesn't get the fight with Tyson Fury. It will be good for Anthony Joshua to grow some goddamn cojones and freaking say, you know what? Let me fight Deontay Wilder. I would even go further, say that if Deontay Wilder was even close to getting that fight with Joshua, he'll fight him in his own backyard. I'm serious. I believe wholeheartedly that Deontay Wilder fight Anthony Joshua in his own fucking yard. I don't believe one bit he's scared to go over there across the pond and fight Anthony Joshua. Wherever the fight may be, Wembley, O2, it don't make a difference. But we all know that Anthony Joshua will not fight Deontay Wilder. That shit ain't fucking happening. This shit is going to be like Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis, man. Seriously. Anthony Joshua ain't trying to come over here and get that work. He did already. And not only that, when Jarrell Miller disrespected the fuck out of him, and then he have a last minute opponent, he still couldn't step up to the plate with confidence and get that shit done. He couldn't get it done. So Anthony Joshua left this motherfucking grid. He say, Eddie, I'm not coming back over here no more, Eddie. It's just too much. These people they're lunatics. I just can't do it no more, Eddie. I don't like the vibe, the energy, the aura. I don't like the air I breathe over there, Eddie. It's just too much. Yeah? Yeah? Take me home, Eddie. Tuck me in, Eddie. It was just a hard trip, Eddie. Don't do this to me again, Eddie. I love you. And Anthony Joshua ain't trying to come back over here and fight nobody. I mean, listen, as much as I don't want to give Tyson Fury credit for shit, I have to credit him for stepping over here in the U.S. and being a fool about it. He took advantage of the gullible U.S. fans who do support him, and he gave the media what they wanted to see. You know, brash, machismo, bravado. You know, he put on this persona like he was a shit talker, and everybody was, you know, latching on to it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't blame him. He went over here to the US and he did what he had to do. So that's why people kind of relate to him. But I remember when Eddie Hearns was out here talking that Anthony Joshua has more fans in the US than Deontay Wilder. And we absolutely know that was a bold-faced ass lie. So who do you want to see him fight on his return? Out of the three names is up there. I definitely don't want to see him fight Dillian White. What the fuck we want to see him fight Dillian White? He sleep Dillian White like Povetkin and Joshua did. What the fuck are we watching? He's not going to get any credit for that shit. Who do you want him to fight? What would be a good fight? I know a lot of people want to see him fight a quote unquote technical inclined boxer. You know what I'm saying? So exclude Tyson Fury because he's been in there with Tyson Fury twice. And us, the fans, we already know what that fight's going to be about in the trilogy. You know, we pretty much have a solid gauge on the first one and the second one. So then it comes to Anthony Joshua. We know that fucking fight ain't happening. I mean, shit. You think Eddie at this point in time with what Deontay Wilder has went through and how furious he is inside, the motherfucking venom that he has, the build up, you know what I'm saying? The get back, the revenge that Deontay Wilder has in his soul. You think Eddie's gonna lock in a fight with Anthony Joshua? Fuck no. So a good fight that's accessible, in my opinion, that still has Wall Street to it is Andy Ruiz, man. You know what I'm saying? Andy Ruiz is still a credible opponent for Deontay Wilder. He can box. He can box, man. He seems like he's dialed in with Eddie Reynoso. He left Manny Robles and went over to Eddie Reynoso, and he's supposed to be this rejuvenated king, but he ain't did shit over there yet either. So the only way he's gonna shine right now is the fact that he shows out, and it would be a good fight for him to step in there with motherfucking Deontay Wilder. Retro for Life 79 Boxing, what's good? Hey, drop your comments in there so we can cook on it. You know what I'm saying? He said, brotherhood, I still have a lot to learn on these YouTube streets. You know, I ain't been around like the rest. Salute to you, 79 Boxing. Salute to you. At Connell. Yeah, you'll catch on to everything after a while. Only been catching boxing channels on YouTube for 4 years. Wilder let Ortiz blow his load and fight too. He didn't blow his load. 79. I know because I was there. He wasn't tired. He really hasn't. Look, he really didn't have to put in too much work in that fight. Believe me, I looked at every round, man. I was taking pictures of that fight and shit. And Ortiz, he was just boxing. You know what I'm saying? And you look at the fight, a lot of people saying Deontay Wilder wasn't active at all. That's because, you know, his plan was to do what he did. Like, that's one of those fights where Deontay understood clearly that he was going to knock Luis Ortiz out. He just was patient. He didn't want the fans coming in there and he cleaned out Luis Ortiz in 2 rounds. I mean, come on. It's not like Luis Ortiz did extreme damage in the early part of the fight. It wasn't like that. But when he landed it, you have to understand and just look how the precision in which he landed that combination on Luis Ortiz. That right hand landed, man, it knocked the sweat out of motherfucking Luis Ortiz's scalp. His motherfucking scalp was dehydrated after that right hand. For real. They had to motherfucking give Luis Ortiz an IV when he got back to the back because Deontay Wilder freaking depleted all the motherfucking liquids that he had in his body. This motherfucker was damn near a skeleton when he left the ropes. He knocked all the damn hydration. But right now, I'm just curious to know when he's going to come back and who he's going to fight. That's my biggest question right there. Hell yeah, I want to see the trilogy first. But am I going to talk about something that we don't know is going to happen? Not every time. Now I'm looking past all the red tape, the smoke, everything that's really clouding this trilogy from happening. The legal situation that's ongoing, and I just want to see him back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have been talking about him outside doing his hiatus for an entire year. And I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about him once he stepped back through the ropes. You know why? Because deep down inside, they're Wilder fans, people. They Wilder fans. These same motherfuckers that's goddamn criticizing the shit out of Wilder, they really Wilder fans because all their thumbnails is just all about Wilder, dog. It's all about Deontay Wilder. They want to see him go in there. They want to see if he's going to knock a motherfucker out again. They want to see if somebody can, repeat what Tyson Fury was able to do. They want to wish bad on this mug. Like he's a fighter you love to hate to these individuals. I just can't wait. Because all the damn voices that's out here crying and fucking whining all the time, blowing snot bubbles, trying to act like they unemployed life coaches. You know what I'm saying? Deontay, you think his career's done? He's done, isn't he? He's no longer fighting. I mean, I'm like, how many times have I heard this depression and mental illness and clinically fragmented? His psychological state is degraded. How can that be off one loss, bro? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You sound insanely delusional. Because, look, Anthony Joshua got his ass whooped and quit. But people are not talking about that. And then Dillian White was able to execute 2 knockdowns, right? He gets knocked the fuck out. Now, I'm not saying we competing with knockouts of the year. But between Gervonta Davis and freaking Alexander Povetkin knockout, both of those two was neck and neck. The only reason people was giving Alexander Povetkin an edge is because of how it happened. Him coming from behind, so to speak, and then it being the heavyweight division. That's why they kind of gave the edge to freaking Alexander Povetkin. And then it was Dillian White, dumbass. Dillian White was the guy, man. He wanted so bad to step in there with Wilder, and he got his ass knocked the fuck out, man. And now it's been postponed. And whenever they step back in the ring, it is what it is. But will I turn down seeing Deontay Wilder and Dillian White? Hell no. Because I think the promo to that fight would be awesome. And I do believe Dillian White will come out the gate and just go caution to the wind and see if he can, feel that right hand early. Seriously, he's that type of dude. I mean, his boxing strategy is like a motherfucking ball of yarn, dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his boxing strategy is just unbelievably, rudimentary. When you think about strategy, you think about patience. You think about a motherfucker that's supposed to be smart about it at that weight class. But Dillian White just go in there and put himself in harm's way. And his logic is, if I get chinned, I get chinned. Fuck it. Him and Derek Chisora somewhat have the same motherfucking energy. They're gonna try to go give you a war, but they suffer the repercussions from it. So are you trying to be a world champion, or are you just trying to go in there and fight? Because you can do that shit outside the ring, but of course you're not going to make the same amount of money doing it outside the ring. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rican Rum in the building. What's good? Brotherhood said, bro, when Wilder got knocked down twice, he got right back up. He wasn't out on his feet or nothing. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. I never said that he was out on his feet. A lot of people want to make it seem worse than what it is. But I agree, he wasn't out on his feet. And I look at it like this too, brotherhood, is the fact that a lot of people talk about Deontay Wilder's frame as a fighter, his slim frame, his slender frame, his composition. But then they don't never mention how, what he was blessed with from birth. This dude is that slim, but packed so much motherfucking power. Like Deontay, the type of dude that has freakish strength that somebody will only find out when he slapped the taste out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of those strong guys that really doesn't look the part, so to speak, like all bulked up and shit, looking like a power lifter, look like he's done time, and motherfucking had a rough life. He doesn't give you that impression. But they see him, they think, hey, what basketball team you play from? What play for? You know what I'm saying? What you do? But when he got up in Fury, people don't want to say, oh man, give him credit for having a chin. Each time he was on the canvas, but not one time was Deontay Wilder in a position like Tyson Fury was in the 12th round. Never. Any other fight, Tyson Fury would have got his ass counted out by Jack Reese. If Jack Reese wasn't the referee, man, I can't even say that. Because to me, I believe that shit was somewhat orchestrated to make sure, if in doubt, make sure he make it to the final bell so we can make a rematch. Because Deontay Wilder clearly knocked him the fuck out. The dude head hit the canvas. His eyes was in the back of his lids. He was in the upper room. And like I said plenty of times before, what happened? His people met him up there. His people was like, Tyson, you fucked up, right? That's why you're up here with us. You fucked up. I told you to stay away from the fucking right hand, but you get hit with a right and a left. I mean, Deontay sent him to the motherfucking upper room, dog. And thanks to Jack Reese down there praying, playing around, trying to direct Deontay Wilder to the neutral corner. 11, 12. What's the time now? Okay. 10. I mean, come on, Jack. I mean, these referees, man, they be in it too. But putting all that aside, I want to see him return to the ring, man. I want to see him go in there against a opponent that we all want to see him in there with. Brotherhood say Ruiz won. 1-1 with Joshua. So he's still in the mix. Joshua hasn't really proved he's better than Ruiz. I agree. And you know what? As far as Eddie Hearn goes, he's not going to allow Joshua to step back in there for a trilogy with Ruiz because it's a dangerous fight, especially if Ruiz act like, his mind is in the right place right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't. I don't know, man. I truly believe that Ruiz cashed out. So as much as I want to say him coming back in there being serious, I truly think Ruiz cashed out, man. You came in there fat. That was one of the biggest bouts that you had in your life. If you would have defeated Anthony Joshua for a second time, oh my God, man, you wouldn't have ever wondered about your family going broke. You would have made so much more money. You defeat Joshua a second time, your next fight, you would have made so much fucking money, dog. You wouldn't have to think about anything about your family going hungry. You would have been set. But, Andy Ruiz cashed out on the rematch. He did. He sold his soul. He came in there overweight and lost, period. That's all it was, man. HLD say Andy Ruiz is the perfect fight and can bring a good purse. Man, I'm leaning heavy, really. I know Deontay Wilder has mentioned it several times that, yeah, Andy Ruiz, he don't mind fighting Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Andy Ruiz is supposed to be this fundamentally sound fighter that a lot of people like. You know what I'm saying? So once again, Mexican fans are going to come out and Deontay Wilder American fans are going to come out. And I'm pretty sure Andy Ruiz has some American fans, but the hardcore fans know what it is. The loss that Andy Ruiz suffered, we get a little bit more respect on it. Excuse me, a little bit more respect on it because he wasn't knocked down like that. You know what I'm saying? It was just a boring ass fight in the desert. That's why he's going to get the edge on his rematch with Anthony Joshua on that level, that top tier bout. We ain't talking about his loss with Joseph Parker. We're talking about the top tier championship fight. He's going to get more credit than Deontay Wilder, even though Deontay Wilder went through more adversity, in my opinion, than Andy Ruiz in the rematch. He was on the canvas twice, and still, when the towel was thrown in, he was still fighting. That's hard. That's courage. Deontay said, don't stop shit. I want to go out on my shield. And I'm not going to get into all the other, Mark Breland motherfucking torch lit supporters all of a sudden that want to sit up here and say, oh, Mark Breland, we love you, Mark. This is the same Mark Breland that was on the team while they were saying, oh my God, man, we hate that motherfucking team. They ain't teaching him shit. They ain't teaching him nothing. Fuck his team, man. They ain't doing shit. Fire all the motherfuckers. Redo the whole team. Just clean up. Switch all them out. And then, once again, the manipulation. Hear me out. The manipulation. You notice I don't say facts on shit. Rarely any. What you believe is what you fucking believe. But you know well as I do that Deontay Wilder's team, people was very critical of it. They would scrutinize the shit out of it, even when he was undefeated, people. So when he lost and he didn't say anything, except when he finally came out about the contaminated water, people found that as the opening that they was looking for to further vilify who Deontay Wilder is. So they chose to say, oh shit, let me go to the token black dude and make it seem like I'm really the savior of all this. I want to support goddamn Mark Breland, who I was dogging the fuck out for being on the team in the first place. When we were saying that Deontay Wilder was this, when he was that, and he lacked this, he lacked that, right? So we're going to go out here and embrace Mark Breland. That's what they did, y'all. How can he treat him like that? But yet these motherfuckers wasn't crying about Andy Ruiz firing Manny Robles. I didn't hear you crying about Anthony Joshua firing McCracken. What happened? Anthony Joshua got rid of his trainer too, right? Oh, no, that's the wrong one, right? That's the wrong one, right? Because sometimes you got to say shit purposely so people, you can see if people actually tuned in. It's a lot of motherfuckers that got rid of their trainer. And no one says anything except Deontay Wilder shit. Nobody says anything, but they want to sit up here and say Mark Breland was their best friend. He's a decorated amateur. A lot of fighters are decorated amateurs, but then again, this is not about what they did in their professional career. They're on a team of trainers. As a trainer, you're not even the head trainer. But the beautiful part about it is that when Deontay Wilder returns, Mark Breland, he can be on the team of the op. If he faced Tyson Fury, shit, why don't you ask if they need an extra member of the team? Like Floyd Mayweather Sr. did that time when he called himself giving the fighter the master plan. You know what I'm saying? Let's do some shit like that if you really want to support Mark. Start making posts that if he faces Tyson Fury, he should be in Tyson Fury's corner, since he know everything about Deontay Wilder and being his trainer. Since you want to do an interview with UK media, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Ruiz is honestly the only big fight for Wilder right now. Fury versus Joshua are going to be tied up for the next year. Puerto Rican, wrong. Is that official? Or that's just one of those verbal agreements that everybody's pushing for in the media? Is it official though? I understand where you're coming from. This is not an arrow, this is not the bow and arrow effect. But I'm just saying, I know the fight is out there. I know a lot of people is pushing for this, but you have to understand, if it was that easy, my friend, it would already be promo going on. Everybody thought that Tyson Fury was going to be in a fight at the early part of December in 2020, but it didn't happen, right? Right? So let's look at it this way. It's not that easy. Even Eddie Hearns came out there and said, we want to fight. We want Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. But if that can't happen, we'll go ahead and fight this person. Even Eddie Hearns understand that it's a bookmark right now. The motherfucking fight is a bookmark. All right. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua has been bookmarked. And the only reason they keep it relevant is that they just say shit all the time that, yeah, in the late part, in the summer of 2021, we're going to get Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury for undisputed. But we really don't know if Tyson Fury is going to have the belt after all of this. We don't know if he's going to be able to fight as the WBC champion. We've heard several times about potentially if Joshua don't face his mandatory. You know what I'm saying? What is he going to do with that belt? He's going to drop that belt. I mean, it's a whole lot of shit that's going on. And I don't know what live it was, but I said this a while ago. And this is no cap. I said this a while ago that Joshua, he's the type of dude that would fragment his belt, that split up his belts and drop his belts. He would do that. As long as he's champion, he has no problem with coming off some of those belts if it's tough opposition or whatever. If he wants to face Tyson Fury, I truly believe that more people would like to see Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, than Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. The reason that is because both of these fighters has fought each other twice already, y'all. They have fought twice. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua hasn't fought once. But the only people want to look, the only thing people want to damn celebrate people is what? Oh, they both fought Klitschko. Let's stroke the Klitschko, the K in Klitschko. They both fought Klitschko. That's all the respect we need. And though Anthony Joshua fought a Klitschko that was out the sport a year and a half, I bet anybody $1,000. Just tell me the opponent that Klitschko fought after Anthony Joshua. Just please just tell me the opponent that he fought after Anthony Joshua. What was his record? What was his name? All of it. Because when you try to explain to people that Klitschko wasn't there to win. He wasn't there to extend his winning streak. He was there as a body to basically bring in the fan base to Wembley Stadium and to assist Anthony Joshua to make the fight seem like it was this huge grandeur. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, it was. It was a back and forth. It was full of intrigue, suspense, of course, because Anthony Joshua is chinny. You know, Klitschko's been down. And Klitschko was probably in the fight like, damn, it's very easy. I could fuck this dude up, but I ain't trying to reign as no champion. I'm retired. So, you know, the referee had to stop the fight in the 11th round while Klitschko was on his feet, as if Klitschko couldn't have finished that fight. The same thing with Carlos Takam. The referee stopped the fight after Carlos had made it back to his feet from a uppercut from Joshua. He was just fine. But then he gets hit with some shots and the referee hurry up and wave off the fight and wouldn't allow it to go past the 10th round. You know what I'm saying? Total bullshit. Why? Because didn't Alexander Povetkin stop Carlos Takam around that time of fight? So there's no way they could have let the fight between Anthony Joshua and Carlos Takam going to the 11th round because they was trying to make the fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Povetkin. Yes, you remember that 2-fight deal? That Wembley, all this bullshit that was going on? Anthony Joshua, he signs this $100 million deal. Anthony Joshua signs a 2-fight Wembley deal. Only one that stepped in Wembley with him on one half of that deal was Alexander Povetkin, September 22nd. You know what I'm saying? That was it. It didn't even sell out, y'all. But anyway, that's just some brief history, bro. Retro for Life say Wilder's chin wasn't tested at all. Wilder crushed Fury's chin. That's what I'm saying, man. Wilder has a very respectable top chin in the heavyweight division, period. I mean, once again, this dude is tough, man. This dude has incredible motherfucking will. Serious, man. Deontay Wilder, the have that slender composition the way he does, man. Dude has a chin. The punishment he took against Luis Ortiz for 41 seconds and to come back, oh my God, to get hit by a fighter like Tyson Fury who outweighed him that much, to get up and continue to fight on. I mean, that shit is amazing, dog. D-Ray in the building. What's good? What's good? WCS, when you interviewed Jack, did he admit to praying for Fury? He didn't admit, but like, you know, a lot of people won't give me credit for it because they don't really check the receipts. But I did ask him, you know, I did, you know, directly say I thought it was a long count. And his expression changed, but me and him talked off camera. He felt some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because me and him was cool. He saw me in passing plenty of times. But when I said that on camera, yeah, it changed our relationship. Yeah. You know, he didn't want to too much communicate with me too much after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen Jack Reese plenty of fucking times. But I just felt like he said, I had to let him know that I felt it was a long count. I kind of felt that, why were you on your knees, bro? Like, if you're going to stop the fucking fight, stop the fight. But don't get on your knees to assist someone with their conscious recovery. That's not up to you. If he's knocked the fuck out, either way the fight off, man, or give the proper count. Don't say it's for the spirit of the sport, man. And then I'm not asking, what is the spirit that you're talking about? And Jack Reese just lost, man. I just lost respect, dog. Jack Reese told me the spirit is common fucking sense. I said, wow. Jack Reese just told me the spirit of the sport is common sense. He told me common sense says if the fighter has an opportunity to recover and fight on, allow them to fight on. He said the reason that he didn't count Deontay Wilder out was because Tyson Fury's foot, one of his legs was propped up and the sole of his feet was on the canvas. So that allowed him to make a conscious decision to say that Tyson Fury still had mechanical functionality within his body. He was still competent enough to know to hold his leg up. So he wasn't entirely knocked the fuck out. Have you ever heard something like that? Look at the video. Don't just listen to me, because I'm not going to put facts on shit. People abuse the fuck out that word. Just look at the video, man. Jack Reese told me that shit. Like I was all happy. I was like, damn, Jack Reese about to educate me on some shit. The spirit of boxing, the spirit of the sport. I want to be educated, Jack. And then he said common sense. I was like, God damn. This dude playing with me. Brotherhood say, yeah, Ruiz destroyed AJ. He made him quit, dog. Everybody calling for Wilder to fight somebody. But Fury been out of the ring for the same amount of time and got fat. But they ain't on Fury case. Hey, absolutely. Check the box on that. They keep on acting like Fury gets a waiver. I can't say I never seen a fighter get a waiver, and he's such a damn grimy, mischievous individual. But I can say, yeah, it's probably some people that's in here that got waivers. You might not like this name, but freaking, I can name Mike Tyson for one. A lot of people say Mike Tyson, he's indeed a legend of the sport, but he lost to some big names. But Mike Tyson was that dude. Shit. You know how many people man, this ain't about him, but I'm just saying, look at his past. Look at Tyson Fury cheating ass. People, every time his name come up and you mention he cheated in the past, they say, oh, that was in the past. So what the fuck did Deontay Wilder do to the present? What did he do for the present? Just tell me. Like, pull up his mugshot. I just want something so I can feel good about when I debate about this shit that I'm still in the right lane. Because these motherfuckers want you to go in the oncoming traffic for no fucking reason. Tell me what he did. Did he pop dirty? Even for a motherfucking a blue chew? You know what I'm saying? Did he pop dirty for something? Male enhancement shit. Did he pop dirty for something? Drinking a Pepsi before the fight? Did he strike a female motherfucking a deer or something? Was he out there hunting and a deer walked up on him? He knocked the deer out and it was a female. And they said, "Oh shit, he's a woman beater." What the fuck did he do, dog? I'm not really asking the question for an answer, because when I get grown fucking men that supposedly stand up and piss like I do, right? It leads me to question, like, how can grown men say Deontay Wilder fanboys and laugh about it when they're cock swabbers themselves? They have their own fighters where they are absolutely cock swabbers. They're cockologists. They love stroking that fighter. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, all of them get a laugh by saying Deontay Wilder fanboys. But their favorite fighter, they massage that damn cock all day long, man. That's real. Like, how can Tyson Fury not be held accountable for potentially cheating again February 22nd? I never said anything giving an excuse as to Deontay Wilder's loss. But the only thing I'm saying, I'm concerned at how he lost. Was it 100% fair and by the book? Because you don't pick up no motherfucking power. You don't pick up power like that when you only have 21 knockouts to your name. 20 when he stepped in there with Deontay. 20. He earned his 21st. Deontay Wilder has more than half knockouts than Tyson Fury. All of a sudden, right? He picks up Sugar Hill. And he's morphed into this superhero with power punching ability to inflict damage. And then people are not understanding that Deontay Wilder just said he didn't feel right. He just said, you know what, the suit, my legs weren't feeling right. So taking for somebody who's been there, like when I had a blood disorder at one time, I was anemic for whatever reason. Might have been running too much and I was depleted of iron, right? I didn't know that, but my legs felt heavy. My legs felt motherfucking heavy. I was like, shit, 4 miles ain't shit, man. But goddamn, I'm only on 2 and my legs feel fucking like boulders. And this is how I took it. I'm like, shit. Internal to his body, man, he might not have felt as strong as he thought. And then he had on a suit and he might have just came up with that to say, you know, my suit made my legs feel a certain way. But he didn't say the suit was the reason why he lost. He never said that shit. Salute WCS. The heavyweight division got to pick it up, man. It does, man. Boxing general has to pick it up. Jack was probably influenced. That's all I'm gonna say. Absolutely. You know what influences? You know the color that influence people is green. That's what influences. Green, monetary green influenced a lot of people. I'm not saying it influenced him, but goddamn it, it influenced a lot of people. Serious. If you're gonna get on your knees and bring that man back to life in a fight like that and said, for the spirit of the sport is common sense. The common sense is if a fighter is able to constantly, recover and fight on, allow and give him the chance to fight on. So basically what you said is what everybody think you did. You spent too much time down there trying to allow Tyson Fury to recover. And that's what he did. And yeah, he finished the fight strong. He did. He finished it strong. But the fact was he was knocked the fuck out. Common sense, facts. That's Jack interview. Yeah, man. Seriously, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like interviews like that. That's what I try to get, man. Because look, if you get them to say the shit on lens, on the mic, they're held accountable for it. And I've seen Jack Reese after that. And Jack Reese ain't trying to show a brother no love, dog. I know. And look, he even looked up my YouTube when the interview. He knew when the interview was over. Jack Reese said, "Where you at on social media?" I said, "Yeah, I'm on IG and YouTube." He said, "Okay." Man, the next time I saw him, Jack Reese wasn't even trying to look my way, dog. But anyway, enough of Jack Reese, man. What's up with Terence Crawford, bro? Deontay Wilder, hey, pardon words, you know what it is. We heavy. We support you heavy out here. We're not worrying about all the damn torchlit parades and all the naysayers and shit. People are screaming the same shit they did when you was undefeated. We fucking with you out here. So whenever you return, the conversation is only going to get louder and we're going to have a lot more to say because you've been out the game since February. You haven't stepped in the ring and they still, to this day, speaking on your name. Terence Crawford in the building. This is a brother who a lot of people are discrediting for what he's been able to accomplish in the sport, right? Terence Crawford. Some call him Bud. People try to act like Terence ain't did shit, and he's, in the history of the sport, he fought the weakest unified championship bout ever against the weakest opponent. When I tell people, I say, man, boxing is never going to be full of clone individuals that are names that you can look at in the top 10 as being those killers. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have enough DNA to go around like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like this, right? I've seen Terence Crawford do some shit outside of boxing that make me believe he's an athlete. Terence Crawford is an athlete, right? He's much stronger than people give him credit for. I've seen the dude. Like, check this out. It's not to give a tutorial or a backstory on Terence Crawford, but I would definitely like to see him fight Errol Spence. But I'm so, I have such a sour taste about the whole entire situation because it doesn't even come nowhere close to being made at this point. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. I'm in Texas, man. And I'm up there. I'm up there. I see Terence Crawford around the way. Terence, he'll give you the head nod. I ran into Terence so many times, man. But I seen him run routes, football routes. And he was with his boy and they was playing around. And I say, damn, Terence got some speed on him, dog. I don't think there's too many boxers in the game that can outrun Terence. Real talk. This motherfucker is athletic as shit. And if he really wanted to do another sport outside of this, he could, in my opinion. But this is the deal. A lot of people need to understand that from the outside looking in, that, this boxing game, man, sometimes business isn't done correctly all the time to benefit the fighter. Sometimes the fighters sign off on shit and they didn't thoroughly do attention to detail check on it. And Terence Crawford has had his lock-ins, with the situation with Victory Promotions. You know what I'm saying? With Chris Menendorf at the time. Finally got up out of there, I believe. He was with Cameron Duncan at one point. And then people now, really pulling back the slingshot, man, about him and Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? The lack of respect that's being shown from Bob Arum when he was, coming off that win with Kell Brook. And Bob Arum took the time to have a menstrual cycle. He's going in on Bud, say, man, the amount of money I lost on this dude, I could have bought a house in Beverly Hills. And we're like, damn, he just stopped motherfucking Kell Brook in the 4th round. What the fuck are you talking about? That's shorter time than Spence. But you know what? People ain't trying to give Bud his props. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to give him his love for doing that. They want to give everybody else love for competing against a common opponent. But when it came to this, he washed up. He washed up. He ain't shit. But they still doing the same motherfucking thing, dog. Like, they want people to fight common opponents just so they can gauge how the performance level was and if that person was able to get it done in better fashion. Bud got it done in better fashion. Now the situation has come about, since we cannot come closer to Errol Spence. Now we are at a point where Manny Pacquiao name is coming in there, 62-7. You know what I'm saying? We always have to staple the legend tag to Manny. But is he worth fucking $40 million though? When you had ample amount of time to say, I face Bud Crawford for championship. What the fuck happened, Manny? All of a sudden your title is handed via email to Yordenis Ugas, and we supposed to watch you fight Terence Crawford. We supposed to support you fighting Terence Crawford for $40 million just for bragging rights. You're 42 years old, for Christ's sake. We're supposed to watch you fight Terence Crawford without a strap. The entire reason that I was vouching and praising and advocating for you to face Manny Pacquiao is for the strap, because I really want to bridge this damn bout between you and Errol Spence, man. I want you all to come together. You could have had 2 straps. Errol would have had 2 straps. Then we can stop the damn 70-30 bullshit. The 60-40. Just get this shit, dichotomize it down the middle, and then let's get the fight for the undisputed. Wrap, done. But check this out. This is how foolish it looks. You're going to have Jermell Charlo potentially facing Castano, right? If that indeed happened before Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, okay. Then you have Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. That's going to be happening soon. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, what if Canelo Alvarez is successful in unifying the super middleweight division before we see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford? What is that going to say? What if down in the bantamweight division, Naoya Inoue, he's able to unify, if he remains champion, against John Casimiro or Yordino Bali? Once again, before Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Because we all know the lightweight division. I'm not gonna visit this shit. I'm not gonna get into arguments with people about the undisputed tag that's placed down there. But God damn it, I'm saying Teofimo is the undisputed lightweight champion, And he's not even the topic of discussion tonight. It's Terence Crawford, Deontay Wilder. But at the end of the day, is Manny Pacquiao worth $40 million? Look at it this way. Is he going to be able to fight Sean Porter for $40 million? I mean, not $40 million. For $10 million? No, right? Does Sean Porter have a more illuminating boxing history than Manny Pacquiao? No. Is Sean Porter younger than Manny Pacquiao? Yes. Has he held more championships than Manny Pacquiao? No. So therefore, an older Manny Pacquiao will be more relevant to face Terence Crawford at this point in his career because Terence Crawford is still looking for that name. You know, the name that people can say, you know what? He has a name on there that we can pin to it that gives him credit. But listen, if y'all don't want to respect the fact that Terence is a future Hall of Famer, then okay, so be it. If you don't want to understand that the man was formerly undisputed at junior welter, so be it. All right. The Hall of Fame isn't that difficult to get into if you're a multi-division champion. And according to who you are as an individual, it is not that difficult to get in if you're a single division champion. That's real. That is absolutely true. So when Terence Crawford said he don't need Errol Spence for his legacy, I agree. He don't need Errol Spence for his legacy. But right now, a Manny Pacquiao on his record would be damn good, y'all. That shit would be awesome. It's just unbelievable that in boxing, we're scraping the barrel, dog. We're scraping the barrel for names like Manny Pacquiao that's a little bit younger than me. You know what I'm saying? We're scraping the barrel, dog, for opponents to face Terence Crawford to legitimize what he's done in the sport of boxing. It's crazy, dog. T-Bud, high risk. Let me see. D-Ray said common sense facts. The Jack interview is awesome. D-Ray, T-Bud, Crawford, high risk, higher than ever reward. Bud got 600 for his first fight. He's definitely going to get more, you know, if he faced Manny Pacquiao. And plus the name itself with the Filipino universe supporting him, he's a legend. Yeah, man. Terence Crawford, if you want to get that bag, he's better off with facing Manny Pacquiao. My only thing with Crawford is he let Bob give him an easy fight versus the overpaid Amir Khan when he could have said, hell, no, I don't want Amir Khan. Give that money to Daniel Porter. Would we want to see Amir Khan and Sean Porter? Because I think in Terence Crawford's defense, and I'm not speaking for a grown-ass man, I think Terence Crawford was looking at it like, that's Amir Khan. Like these big names are being recycled. But see, it's all about who people want to provide credit to for recycling that opponent. Amir Khan had already been knocked out. Amir Khan quit that night. I was at the fight. He wouldn't even turn around and give Crawford the love, but I think Crawford felt that, you know, he was hearing people chatter, and he was like, man, he need a name on his resume. He need a name. And the time when he's supposed to step up to a fight to give him some type of credit, like Amir Khan quit. Amir Khan fucking quit, dog. He quit. And now he's trying to start up a beef with Kell Brook. Get the fuck out of here. That's my assumption on why Terence Crawford took that fight, that brotherhood. I truly believe he was trying to appease the people and you know, to pay, you know, I mean, he just wanted to say, you know what, Amir Khan would be good. All right, let me fight Amir Khan, because they ain't giving me props on freaking Jeff Horn. They ain't giving me props on Joseph Benavidez. You know, let me fight Amir Khan, dog. Let me get that. Let me do this. I know I whoop his ass. And you know, he was about to knock him the fuck out. Real talk. Smoke free boxing talk. What's good? Andy Ruiz beats Wilder. So when the time comes, we'll see, man. When the time comes, we'll see. That's easy. That's easy to just put into characters. You know what I'm saying? The phonetic gift that people have to type on their keyboards is just amazing, huh? All the others will go for undisputed before EJ. Go to the middle of the street for Bud. That's unfortunate too, that D-Ray. That's really unfortunate that we're gonna sit here and watch neighboring divisions unify the entire division. And then we have two of the top. Look, this is what's so mentally draining about this fight. If you really are focused on them two getting together and dancing in the ring, right? This is what drives people into a state of darkness. Is they're both on the pound for pound list. It's only a single fighter pretty much separate them according to what pound for pound list you watch. And a lot of people say, I don't fuck with the pound for pound. But listen to me. Both of these cats are on the pound for pound list. Both of them. And we can't get a fight. So Lomachenko was on that motherfucker right behind Canelo. He fights Teofimo Lopez and he loses. He's still on the pound for pound list. But what he did was pull in Teofimo Lopez. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence has been on the pound for pound list forever. The only other fighter that you can link up with Canelo Alvarez when he was at 160 is Gennady Golovkin. Like I said, it depends on the season that he lingers around 7, 8, 10, whatever. Why the fuck he's on the pound for pound list, I don't fucking know. But he's there. So it's a big deal when you have two fighters from the same division on the pound for pound list. It's a big deal. Not only is it a big deal, it's a big deal when they're in the top 5. Right? These motherfuckers in the top 5. And we can't even get them to dance in the ring, man. Fuck. He said, y'all tripping. Imagine Tommy Hearns saying, I don't need a fight with Sugar Ray for my legacy. Y'all niggas tripping and Bud apologists. Whatever you're trying to say that you're trying to compare Terence Crawford saying he don't need Errol Spence for a legacy. That's a poor analogy. The input Tommy Hearns name with Sugar Ray. That's just what I'm looking at right now. Because when you mention those names comparable to these individuals, there's two different levels. You know what I'm saying? Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray is definitely a higher tier than both of these fighters. But right now, like I say all the time, we don't have a full room of killers. It's just not possible to regenerate them and have them popping out, clone of your favorite fighter, and have them their growth expedited in a lab full of mad scientists, and they're cloning human beings. And fuck an amateur career. They're cloning human beings, y'all. Expediting their growth with performance enhancing drugs. And then before you know it, a couple of months, these motherfuckers are full grown, 19 or 20, and they're about to become professional. But they are with incredible strength and boxing skills because they have been injected with the DNA of the greats, however they was able to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not fucking possible. It's not fucking possible. Y'all keep on saying Errol Spence great. How, yo? I'm bringing that yo back. How, yo? How the fuck are y'all up here saying Errol Spence is great? He was on one of the weakest Olympic teams ever. How is Errol Spence great? And then you're going to get somebody leave a comment in there. Well, Bud, it wasn't on the list. Did I say anything about Bud? I'm just saying he defeated Kell Brook. Okay, he went over there. I salute him for that. Real talk. He gave him his second loss. All right. A lot of people want to blend that in with the beating that Gennady Golovkin gave him. I don't do that too much because the orbital problem or the fragmentation to his skull or facial composition or disposition or whatever you want to call it was on the right side. Errol Spence, he pretty much fragmented the left. But anyway, he defeated Sean Porter. He defeated Sean Porter to unify. Sean Porter. Now, the one thing I would say about Errol Spence, he was calling out Keith Thurman when he was unified. Now, he was. But that doesn't just because you call people out, that doesn't mean it elevates you in the point system for being great. Errol Spence is a single division dude who first trio of fights was at 154, and then he descended down to 147. Within that time frame, he's pretty much campaigned at the welterweight division. Terence Crawford has became a multi-division. He has earned a multi-division championships, unifying at 140. You have to accredit him with that. Period. He doesn't need Errol Spence for his legacy. His legacy is already there. He just needs some names. Because look, if you're trying to tell me that Sean Porter, who's stepped in there with the big names, okay, he lost his title to Kell Brook, right? He lost to Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? He had an unbelievable fight with motherfucking Errol Spence. Unbelievable. But in that battle, he couldn't get out the way of the left hook. He lost. Now, are you going to credit him for defeating Danny Garcia, who has not defeated a single champion at the welterweight division? Is Danny Garcia the one who fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero for a vacant WBC title, but then defended it once and lost it? I mean, is Sean Porter considered great? I know he's a good guy, but is he considered great though? Because we need somebody that's on Errol Spence's resume for him to be considered great. He hasn't fought Keith Thurman. He hasn't fought Manny Pacquiao. And even if he faced Manny Pacquiao 42 years old, will he get credit for that? How are we going to continue to recycle Manny Pacquiao's name? He's old. They want to talk about how all these fighters are fighting dudes from lower weight classes, but don't even take in consideration the weight class that Manny Pacquiao started off from. They don't even take in consideration that Manny Pacquiao was knocked out early in his career, very early. And people make excuses for him being knocked out. But the fact is, Terence Bud Crawford has never been knocked the fuck out. Him facing Manny Pacquiao, and he goes in there and destroys him, right? He do him dirty. Like Juan Manuel Marquez. Do him dirty. Are you going to give him credit for knocking out a legend? Or are you going to say, well, that's Manny Pacquiao. He was just there. He wasn't a champion no more. And Terence did what the fuck he's supposed to do. So he was old, decrepit. His career was dilapidated. See what I'm talking about? The money is going to be good. The name is gonna sit real nice in the boxing ledger. But once we log back into social media, what they gonna say? Terence Crawford fought an old freaking Manny Pacquiao. Just like they say Deontay Wilder fought an old Luis Ortiz, right? But then they don't say shit about Anthony Joshua fighting an old Alexander Povetkin. I mean, come on. They don't say shit about him fighting a damn antiquated Klitschko. Man, I can go on and on with this shit, dog. But I think what would be good for Terence Crawford is to take the money, because in so many words, man, I kind of always put this out there that boxers should make the most money while they're active in the sport, unless they have invested their money. Like, you hear Floyd Mayweather say it all the time. I made smart investments. I made smart investments. So for Terence, if he's looking to get 10, he getting a dime off this, right? If they're gonna give him 10 million, right, with Manny, and potentially do a rematch. I don't know if that's possible, but let's just say he's seeking a two for one, a 2-for-1 name, 2 fights off one name, Manny Pacquiao, and he makes that dime, and then he comes back and makes probably like 15 or 20. I mean, that's good shit outside of not fighting for unification. That's damn good, y'all. Danny was offered the fight before Khan and turned it down. Hey, Danny was a smart man, because Crawford's style is all wrong for Danny Garcia. Listen, some of these fighters, they still have bragging rights for not being stopped. All right? A lot of these fighters have bragging rights in boxing because people still look up to them, just like mixed martial arts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these fighters, they have this how you put it, this medal that their fans give them that fuck with them hard. They say, man, they ain't never been stopped. They lost, but they ain't never been knocked out. And I think stylistically, Terence would have fucked Danny Garcia up. That's just my assumption, man. Bud needs to fight some top welterweights, period. He's the only one that ain't fought nobody at 147. What you mean he ain't fought nobody at 147? Listen, my brother, whoever you are, right? Check this out. He has fought someone at 147. He took the belt off Jeff Horn and he defended it. Look, all the people that you saying he should have got up out of there, he did. Once again, all the names that you said he should have discarded, he did. He's cleaned up. He's been a motherfucking janitor up there at the welterweight division. Say what you may about the fucking names. He's been a janitor. He's been cleaning shit up just the way you wanted him to. You say it's a soft touch. You say what, that's what it is. It wasn't a top tier name. Then guess what? There was some opponents in there with O's on that motherfucker. It was some O's on that shit. It was some wheels spinning. He faced some opposition that had O's on their record. And you say they're not a big name, so he got him up out of there, right? So what's this? He ain't fought nobody. You're talking about Keith Thurman who lost? Who hasn't he fought? You're talking about one motherfucker, right? You're talking about Errol Spence, right? Who else? Danny has multiple losses. Sean has multiple losses. Keith Thurman has a single loss. Who are you talking about? Man, y'all keep on repeating public record. He ain't fought nobody at 147. If you saying that he don't have an opponent at 147, then he did what the fuck he's supposed to do. He got him up out of there. Bud took the Khan fight because that was the best welterweight name available. Remember, Fox just launched their new PBC schedule at that time. They was not going to deviate their plan for Bud. And them not deviating their plan, and that's a solid point. They're L-Dub. Them not deviating their point. The only culpability I put on Bud is not being a fan-friendly, promotable fighter, a self-promoted fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have did a lot with that statement. He could have made it better than what it was. But like I said again, he probably sit there, he was pondering, and he felt that Amir Khan was a good name. And, you know, once again, a recyclable opponent. Amir Khan was a recycled opponent. He did what the fuck he's supposed to do with Amir Khan, man. He got him up out of there. Seriously, that's all I can say on this shit, dog. Like people say all the time that Bud ain't did shit at 147. Well, look how difficult. People ain't just running up to fight Bud. So you want him to fight Sean Porter? Okay, what are you supposed to do now? You are you waiting on? Okay, Sean Porter, good guy. He's a tough fighter. All right. So we don't see Sean Porter go life and death with Adrian Granados. We seen him go the distance and get dropped by Adrian Broner. And have Mr. Oh shit, AB, I didn't know you was a problem like that. We seen him being one of the biggest fights of his career in Errol Spence and get dropped with a left hook, right? This is Sean Porter, the good guy. Always come to fight, right? And then this is the same Sean Porter who will move around with Sebastian Formella. Hear me out. This is the same Sean Porter who looked very, very marginal and boring against Yordenis Ugas. So Porter is able to get a pass, but yet just because Errol Spence fought him, he's supposed to be considered great. So if Terence Crawford fight Sean Porter, are you going to give him credit or are you going to compare his performance to Errol Spence? Let's just say Terence Crawford knocks off another recycled opponent that Errol Spence has fought in a Sean Porter. Are you happy? Because y'all motherfuckers ain't talking about Kell Brook. Errol Spence fought Kell Brook and Terence Crawford dusted him. He gets Sean Porter that really don't bring value to the table, to be honest. Like we talk about Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford gets some guaranteed bag. You know what I'm saying? He gets a pretty damn solid guarantee, right? What are we looking for out of Sean Porter versus Terence Crawford? He goes in there and he stops Sean Porter. Then the thing is going to be another fucking excuse from Errol Spence. If they go the distance and Terence Crawford don't knock him down, it's going to be, oh, well, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding, see? He went the distance with Sean Porter. I knocked Sean Porter down in 11, but he didn't knock him down at all. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the same bullshit, dog. I would rather him fight Manny Pacquiao, the 8th division legend, so send him out into retirement and just have that name on the record. Yeah, really. I really want Terence Crawford to get that fight with Manny Pacquiao instead of Sean Porter. Because guess what? Errol Spence ain't fought Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence has not fought a name like Manny Pacquiao. And I sure enough don't want to see Ryan Lion Garcia stepping in there with Manny Pacquiao at a catchweight. Get the fuck out of here. But appreciate that, L-Dub. D-Ray, WCS Cooking Casual Temple fans of boxing. Appreciate it, bro. Bud don't need EJ. He needs that lineal belt like the other two. Man, Bud needs to do something spectacular on the back end of his career. Seriously, he can do it. He can do it. He just needs the right name. Is Errol Spence the right name? Because all I hear is fucking all this 70-30 bullshit. You know what Bob Arum is saying, and he take this route, you know, Sean Porter, and man, why you coming to my fight? I don't come to your fights. If he say he don't need me, man, come on already, dog. You was out the sport because of your own undoing. How you gonna come back to the sport and all of a sudden you act like a prima donna? Man, get the fuck out of here, dog. Like, come on, bro. If you give us the old Errol Spence, the Errol Spence that had the motherfucking shag. Get the Errol Spence that said man down and people believe that shit. Not this new one. Well, Terence Crawford, he say he don't need me for his legacy, so I'm hurt. I'm in my emotions. I don't want to be around him at all. Why he show up in my fight? Why? And then he gets on here and wastes an interview. He comes up there post interview of a fight, right? And he's asked and say, well, do you think in the near future that we'll be able to see you and Terence Crawford? Do you think it's possible? Yeah, it can happen. More so, yeah, that Canelo fight. See, he wasted a fucking interview attempting to latch on and somehow, some way gain the attention of Canelo Alvarez. It was poorly planned. It was poorly executed. And it was at the wrong fucking time. No one is talking about that. Even the YTC didn't even latch on to that shit. No one latched on to Errol Spence calling out Canelo. Not a single soul. I know people took to it and made some thunder. No. That shit didn't catch fire at all. It's just like you trying to light wet charcoal. That shit did not catch fire at all, man. He was up there saying himself, damn, don't nobody want to see me catch. Look, I'm pretty sure some people out there want to see Errol Spence fight Canelo, but guess what? They don't believe Canelo's going to give you that shine right now because Canelo have his own compass. He knows what direction he's going into. For Terence Crawford, you have to respect what he's been able to do in his career. He had his compass aligned and he got it done. It don't give a fuck if an Ndongo was there. He got it done, y'all. Bragging rights for not being stopped is so true. Never heard it better. Yeah, man. Fighters out here and they get love, man, for not being stopped. That's, AB still getting that love for not being stopped. You know what I'm saying? They have losses, but not being stopped. Danny Garcia, he still get that love for not being stopped, with losses. You know what I mean? Like, there's some fighters like Pacquiao, he get love just because of the amount of division he's had, but he's been stopped several times. But certain individuals get that pass, man. The only top welterweight that has been stopped is Pac-Man. Absolutely. Keith Thurman was dropped, but to his credit, he finished the fight. It was all weird that night. Will I watch Keith Thurman and Terence Bud Crawford? Absolutely, I will. Absolutely, I'll watch that fight. I'll watch Terence Crawford and Keith Thurman. I'll watch Sean Porter, Terence Crawford, and also I'll watch Pat Crawford. But if you ask me which one I want to see first, out of all of them, out of that three right there, I'll have to go with something that has the most value. Fuck the name, a top this and that. If you saying that Manny Pacquiao is the man that's still at 42 years old, that he's still like he has this damn gem to it. He's that VS1, that diamond, right? He's still glimmering. I will fight him. Get the bag and fight Manny Pacquiao and put that name on your resume and see what people have to fucking say then. Are they going to give you credit for this person or old Pacquiao? Because nobody else except Keith Thurman can really say that they've stepped in there and earned a win. Okay? Hear me out. Earned a win over Pacquiao. But Keith Thurman can say he stepped in there with Pacquiao. The top names. Sean Porter don't have that shit. I mean, Errol Spence don't have it. But Keith Thurman, he's going to fall short because he couldn't get the job done. He came off his WBA strap. So he can't have no bragging rights. But solid point. D-Ray, Bob makes the offer. Not the proof in the pudding again. Yeah, man, the proof in the pudding, that D-Ray. I mean, I never heard such some crazy ass shit, man. The proof is in the pudding, what Bob said. So you're gonna go to Bob Arum just because he's coming off a victory, and you say, well, Bob Arum say, you know how much money I lost with Terence Crawford? I could purchase a home in Beverly Hills. Arrow, what the fuck does that have to do with you and him fighting? If you feel that Terence Crawford is not a big name, right? And people want to go back and forth on who's ducking who, right? Then put it this way: do what the fuck Canelo is doing. Just go to another division and try to challenge for a title or something. Just go to another division, man. Do something else and come back to welterweight. Do something. People keep on talking about how big Errol Spence is, and he's barely making welterweight. He's such a huge freaking welter. I mean, come on, man. If you don't want to be a welterweight division and you're too big and you don't have any plans to kind of somewhat compromise, right? Just move the fuck on. Go up there with your boy, Jermell Charlo. I mean, y'all see each other in the gym. We see Jermell speeding on the highway. Ask him, say, Jermell, hey, when you gonna fight Castano? Okay. So when you get rid of Brian, you unify. Are you gonna defend that shit? Because Jermell, in order to solidify unification to a lot of people, right, especially the hardcore fans, they're gonna say, well, we want to see you defend the titles. It's just like defend the mandatory or something. He don't really have to fucking do it. Seriously. Jermell Charlo is about to do something his brother couldn't have done, hasn't been able to do. So Errol Spence need to get with Jermell Charlo and say, hey, you gonna stay down there? How many fights you got left after that, man? Because I want to slide up in there and fight for one of those titles you about to come off of. It don't matter if it's vacant or not. I just want to try to, attach another division to my credentials. I ain't blaming him. And you know what? Terence Crawford need to do the same thing. Jump up to 154 once Jermell Charlo chooses to leave. But them Charlo brothers are unpredictable. You don't know what the fuck they got going on. So I'm just curious as to what people are going to say. Errol Spence. Like, who is he going to fight next? Danny Garcia was there to be a dance partner. I mean, Danny, look. When man, I can't make this shit up. Look, Mikey Garcia moved up from 35, right? Please don't come to me about Sergey Lipinets. I already know that shit. But he moved up from 35 after Robert Easter, right? Mikey Garcia left the fight with Errol Spence, and he could have went out to a gala. He could have went out to the club. You never would have known he'd been 12 motherfucking rounds with Spence, right? But Danny Garcia went in that motherfucker and looked like, God damn, where's the EMT at? Pull up the stretcher. We need him to go right to the damn ER, put some ice on that shit. Man, he looked terrible. Mikey Garcia, 4-division champion, the smaller guy, moving up to 47 from 35. And he comes out of there on a lopsided loss. I got it. But so did Danny Garcia. And he looked bad. He looked bad, dog. This shit is hilarious, man. Yeah, those of you that sit in the live chat, man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can put up like the same scripted shit and go against the grain. It's okay, but if I feel that your comment makes sense, I will entertain it. But I'm not reactive like that. I'm not gonna just read and say, Bud doesn't fault nobody. Bud has did what he's supposed to do with his opponents at the welterweight division. He has cleaned them out. He's got them up out of there. He just didn't go the distance. This motherfucker has been stopping him. So make sure you put that in the comments too. Yeah, Teixeira lost there, D-Ray. He lost. If y'all quick to call somebody a bum, right? Then understand that if you're considering him being dropped by a bum, then consider what he did in the aftermath of that bum. He stopped him, right? So it could like look at the history of that guy that you're calling a bum. Look at his record. Analyze all that. Collect the data. Process it. Did he get him up out of there? Yes, he did, man. He got him up out of there. So you got to give him his just due, man. Amir Khan wasn't almost killed by Canelo when you have other people that's being knocked out cold. You have other people that's being knocked out cold too. They ain't talking about, them almost being killed. Look how many people Deontay Wilder knocked out, and people seem to sweep that under the rug. They ain't saying they was killed except Arthur Spilker. You know what I'm saying? Romain Stavern in the rematch looked like he was motherfucking. He had some a shot of tequila and a motherfucking a quart of Ambien. It's plenty of fighters have been knocked out cold. Amir Khan has been chinny in more than one opponent. So why you regurgitating shit that like it? I can't even put no damn value to the shit because we already know that's simple. That's simple knowledge right there. If he was almost killed, then he wouldn't be back in the ring. He's just a chinny dude. Amir Khan is just a guy who has a soft. Look, he has a neurological system that isn't functioning correctly, especially when he receives sudden impact. You know what I'm saying? He gets that jolt. It just goes into a malfunction, and it cuts off everything with Amir Khan. There's no way that he's going to be able to get rid of it. That's how it is. Some people are built that way. That's why you see some fighters, like I mentioned before, that have pugilistica early in their career. You can barely understand what these fighters are talking about. It's all neurologically enhanced. It's all wired. Like these boxers, and you hear them slur and speak. It's not the point of they freaking getting hit in the mouth a lot. Is that they know what they want to say, but due to the punishment they received over years and years and years, they're not able to relay that. Like it takes a lot for your mouth to regurgitate what your brain is thinking. Your tongue is very, very important. If you cut your tongue out, you're not going to be able. People are not going to understand what the fuck you're talking about. Look it up. So neurologically, your shit doesn't function correctly. That's all. That's all that is, man. Unfortunately for Amir Khan, I'm not gonna sit up here and even fool y'all into thinking that I'm saying he don't need to be in the sport that much longer. But it is what it is, because we've seen some fighters go life and limb and take fucking punishment all day long. And what happened? People damn raise them up and say, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That Mickey Ward, Arturo Gotti shit. Oh man, goddamn, that was a war. Oh my God. Baranchik gets up again. Oh my God. Cepeda gets up again. Oh, and then my boy Deontay Wilder gets counted for a knockdown twice, get right back up. And all of a sudden he's mentally fragmented. He's depressed. He's unstable. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all pick and choose who y'all want to praise. Ryan Garcia gets knocked the fuck down. And y'all say, oh my God. Ryan Ray rises to the occasion and stops Luke Campbell. Wow, amazing fight. And y'all don't want to criticize him because he's young and he has a lot of Instagram followers. He's goofy as fuck. He trying to step up there and fight Manny Pacquiao to catch weight. Fight Bud Crawford. Fight Bud Crawford to catch weight. Let me know, Ryan, how you feel about that. After people have been talking about Manny Pacquiao and Ryan Garcia's career. No, he won't. I guarantee you that. You know why? Because Manny's a good guy. Manny will allow himself to go rounds with Ryan Garcia because Manny's a corporate dude right now. He's on the back end. He's a politician. Manny is the elder statesman, dog. If he's supposed to go rounds with Ryan Garcia, Manny's gonna go rounds with him. We all know Manny will fuck Ryan Garcia up. We know this shit. This is what Deontay Wilder had to say in an article from Boxing 24. He simply says, the ones at the top who I haven't fought, haven't got my hands on, that's what I want. I want to clean the division out, said Wilder to Marcus Watson on Instagram. Is that not clear enough? Apart from everything that people are talking about? Hey, I'm just saying. Go check out Marcus Watson IG and check the interview out. I really don't want to replay the audio on here because of copyright strikes and shit like that. Because I have some haters. Time I got them put some shit up to somebody else's content, the motherfuckers be trying to report my damn shit and get the motherfucker shit blocked. Yeah, we got some haters, real talk. But that in a nutshell, people, is what we're looking forward to next with Deontay Wilder and Terence Crawford, to be honest. Seriously. It's a lot of boxing talk and mixed martial arts that I'm going to be talking about this week. We do have Adrian Broner coming up against Giovanni Santiago. And this is going to be my closing shit, right? I know I don't have him on the thumbnail, but this is the whole deal with Adrian Broner. I'm looking forward to AB stepping back in the ring, right? And I'm not even going to pop the string again on what I want to see from AB. I'm not going to say I want to see him let his hands go. I'm just looking for him to show us AB. I want him to be the problem. I want him to be the can man. I'm not going to sit up here and repeat the same shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say, let his hands go. He already know that. He's heard it. He's heard people complain about him not letting his hands go. He heard that shit over and over again. So for me, the only thing I'm going to say on it is this. I'm just looking for him to go in here and perform. From my understanding, this guy's undefeated, right? So I want to see him go in there and shine, man. I want to see AB put on a show. I want him to goddamn show out. I don't want him doing that damn gyrating though. I don't want him hunching on dry humping another man. I don't want to see that Marcus Madonna replay shit. But show the fuck out. Put on a show, AB. Put on a motherfucking show, dog. Be the can man, dog. Let us know it's still there. AB said something real, dog. He said, I'm 31 years old. How can I be past my prime? He's right. Like, look how many fighters that we're looking at that's 35. Look at fighters like Gennady when people still giving him a chance to be productive, right? Look at how Vasil Lomachenko, and they say, man, he still got some shit left in the tank. He's AB say, how am I past my prime? So in order for you to basically put that to bed, you need to come in here and show out on him. Stunt. put on the motherfucking show. Let your performance speak for itself. That AB. AB is one of those dudes, man, that he stays. Man, AB, in my opinion, is one of those dudes that stays on his code that he came from. It might have fucked him up for a minute, sticking to the street code, but he's that dude. It might have fucked up his boxing and him saying he was drinking and all that, but damn, he's that guy. He is a 4th-division champion. You cannot deny that. There's always going to be criticism from people about who he fought, but he's a 4th-division champion. That's fucked. It's fucked a lot of people's head up because a lot of people just look at AB from being in the media, but he is a 4th-division champion, dog. At 35, he was goddamn general at that bitch. Hell yeah, I want to see AB go in there and stun on this motherfucker. Yeah, go do that. And then have your pops brush your hair after the fight, AB. That's what we want to see. We want to see your pops brushing your hair at the end of the fight, like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell yeah. It's been a while since he's been in the ring. But shit. From what I've been seeing, him being down there in training camp in Florida, all the people that's been around him dropping all that weight that he had gained. The only thing, we need to look forward to now is him making weight, of course, and then, splitting the ropes, going in there on the bright lights and getting that shit popping. Hell yeah. That's what we need to see. So, for everyone that tuned in, man, you know what it is. Appreciate your support. Appreciate everyone that input tonight, always. Hit the sub button, man. Hit that sub button, share the content, and subscribe always. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.